And I'm live. Hi, gorgeous. Welcome back to Melting the Ice, a place where we melt away our insecurities, we melt away our limiting beliefs, we melt away the things that are holding us back, and then we emerge as happier, healthier versions of ourselves. Yes, of myself, of yourself. Thank you so much for being here today. If it's your first time here, comment down below. Yay me, yay you for being you. So happy to have you here today. I hope you had the best day ever. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for being here. I love having you here. Today we're talking about leaving the old you behind. Grab your water, grab your drink. Today I'm in my car, as you can see, and this is a new experience. Leaving the old you behind. You have to leave the old you behind. What does that look like? What I mean by that? What I mean by that is that you're gonna have to leave parts of you behind. You know how when you know you're ready for a change, you know that it's time for you to do things differently. You feel it in your heart. You know that it's time for me to cross this threshold. But yet, your ego, your limiting beliefs, the false self, the false you, is trying to hold you and ground you into this reality that is no longer true for you. How do you know something is no longer true for you? When you've lost interest in that thing, when you begin to think completely outside the box from that thing, when you begin to see things from a whole different perspective, from a whole different earth. Because technically, you're no longer a part of that earth, right? Yes, we shift planets when we decide to think differently. We can literally be in the same place with someone else, but you guys' beliefs and viewpoints are so different that you might as well be on different planets, right? So I feel like there are times in our lives where we know it's time to move forward, and we are aware that there are parts of us. Let me move back. We are aware that there are parts of us that simply cannot move forward with us. We are aware that part of us that simply cannot go to the places that we're meant to go, that can't go into the anointed areas of our life. But yeah, what do? We resist. We try to lie to ourselves, try to hold back, we try to pretend like we haven't heard the very clear call that it's time to let it go. We try to bargain because nothing likes to die. Nothing wants to die, and that's understandable. The parts of you that are ready to be that need to be let go of now are the same parts of you that serve the purpose at some point in your life. At some point in your life, those same parts of you were entire identities. They were the things you build yourself around, right? And when it's time to let them go, those parts of you are going to resist and say, no, no, I don't want to go. I actually want to stay right here. And that is where the conflict begins, right? But you have to know that you have what it takes to leave the old you behind. And you must leave that old you behind if you are to become a new thing. Because you can't become a new thing while you're holding on to the old thing. You can't accept a new belief if you're holding on to the old belief. You can't fill a vase that is really filled with water. If you're a vase filled with water, in other words, you think you know everything. You think you just like oversabi, like we like to say it. Oversabi is like you just know everything. Over, you just think you know everything because you're a full vase. You can't you can't fill a full vase. You're gonna have to empty it, letting go of the old water of what is no longer serving you, and knowing that you know what, maybe I don't know anything. I don't know everything. Actually, I don't know anything. When you can understand that actually I don't know anything, excuse me, then you can begin to be open to so many things that you couldn't even have imagined. Because now you can allow yourself to experience more. You can let yourself be more, do more, see more, right? So leaving the old you behind is something that I want you to begin to think about, to ask yourself the stages, the things you know you are over, the things you said you were done doing, some of those things you're still doing. That is you not leaving the old self behind. Begin to see, begin to think of yourself without this thing. Begin to visualize that. A version of you that doesn't have this thing you really to let go of. Because the place you're meant to go to, you can't go there with this thing. You can't go there with this burden. Because your next level is meant to free you. Your next level is not meant to be another burden upon you. It's meant to free you so you can be more free. You can be more you. You can be a happier, healthier version of yourself. So leave the old you behind. Leave the old self behind and don't look back. Don't look back and trust that you are on the right path. Because part of you knows the things you've outgrown, but yet you keep doing them because they are comfortable. You keep eating $10 because it's comfortable, even though you know you've outgrown it, right? I'll give you an example. So some of you might know that I have a stutter, and honestly, it's something I've been so vulnerable with on this channel. And the way I talk about it and the frequency at which I speak about my stutter, you might think, oh, it's not a big deal for her, but it actually is. And for a long time, it was this thing that caused me so much pain and so much pain in my life and so much shame too. But then look at me now, I'm talking about that, talking about it here. That is me saying that I'm letting go of the shame around this, and I'm letting go of the part of me who felt that studying was something to be ashamed of, right? The story I'm sharing is that many times I felt that my soul was done with studying. I felt that I had outgrown studying completely. I don't know how to tell you, but I just know. When you've outgrown something, you just know in your soul that I've outgrown this thing. You'll be thinking, wow, this is no longer me. Like, you know, you've outgrown it, right? But then the becoming of actually you having that thing completely installed in who you are, that might take some time, right? So back to my studying example, there were many times, es- especially this year, where I felt I completely outgrew my stutter. I was convinced I was done with it, right? But then I'll be good for a couple of days and I'll go back to studying a lot. In the situations where I wouldn't be triggered. I'll be around people who are super kind and loving, yet I'll be stuttering, right? That is a perfect example of me holding myself behind, me holding on to the old me. Even though I'm aware and I can feel that the frequency of who I am right now, the stuttering is gone. But part of me subconsciously is still holding on to that identity, holding on to the idea that who am I without this stutter? And it's crazy because the real me is like, the real me is like, it's time to let this thing go. The false me is like, who will I be without this thing? Because I've built my whole identity around being the girl who stutters, even though I don't like it. And that leads me to um another point I wanted to make is that just because you're sick of something, it doesn't mean you're ready to let it go. Just because you are sick of something does not mean you're ready to let it go. It might be time to let it go. Like the whole universe, God may really be aligned to help you let this thing go. But it doesn't mean you're ready to let it go because your free will counts so much. God will never break your free will ever. So back to my example where there were many times I felt I was done with the stuttering. Why was I still stuttering? Even to this day, why do I stutter a little bit? Even though I know part of me is done, right? There are different parts of our lives where I can sit here and give other examples, but there are different parts of our lives where we're still holding on to the old self. We're not ready to leave the old us behind. So for me, I want to discuss stuttering for today and I really want to leave it behind. What is yours? What is something that you know you are done with? You know you've outgrown. You know you're no longer in that place. You know that the person you are stepping into no longer has this thing, no longer uses these coping mechanisms, right? So it's time to let that part of you behind. I have a course called God Override. It's a 4 day of deep transformation. What are we doing there? We return ourselves to who we were before the programming that told us we weren't good enough. The programming that made us believe that we were not smart enough, we weren't fit enough, we weren't skinny enough, we weren't pretty enough. And whatever other area of your life where there's darkness, you know when you get hijacked by darkness, it could be your fear, it could be your limiting belief, it could be the false self. But you get hijacked by that thing so much that you can't think clearly, and you're thinking from the perspective, what I call the worldview, that does not serve you, that will literally lead to doom. You're thinking from that perspective, right? And imagine what it would be like to just have a return to who you were born to be, to who you were born to be, the crowned empress in her purpose, who knows who she is without having to do more, without having to run faster, increase the speed, do more, by simply going within, by simply doing less. What would that look like for you if you could do that? In God Override, the name God Override, what I call AKA a complete God takeover, where you have everything in the car right now, you have all your limiting beliefs driving the car, and then you literally give them the boot. Not to not to be toxic to them, not to abuse them, but they get taken off the seat because they can have any other seat in your car except the driving seat. And it's so important you understand that they can have every other seat in your life except the driving seat. When you really leave the old self, the old you behind, you understand that the old you cannot be the one driving your life. Because the old you always hold you in the same position. The old you always hold you to who it thinks you should be, who you are always, like who you are. It'll tell you things like, people always do this. But we're the girl who has anxiety attacks, we're the girl who has depression, we're the girl who stutters, right? And it cannot let you move outside of that reality because it's all it knows. It has defined you as this person. It has a box. So if you want to grow outside the box, if you want to expand beyond your wildest imagination and become the person you always want to be, you're going to have to no longer identify with the old you. You're going to have to know that the person who's in the driving seat has to be God. It has to be the universe because the universe knows the whole of you. It knows your entire blueprint. In God override, it's like a computer. When the computer stops working, you give it to the admin. The admin returns it to when it was brand new without any of the viruses. In God override, we every single day we learn to surrender. Surrender that way we can invite God to begin to take over ourselves. That way we can actually return to that part of us that is in her power. Not part of her that has her crown on. Not because she knows she's powerful, but because in that moment there's no other truth. It's not like she's powerful or not powerful. In that moment in God override, we completely collapse all the other options. And until all the only thing left for you is your crown on your head. And then you can make decisions that are best for you in that moment. You can move towards the real you. You can move towards the real self. I have another course coming up very soon, and I've been talking about it before. I'll talk about it more tomorrow. I spoke about it yesterday, so I don't want to talk about it again today a lot. But I'll talk about it tomorrow. Um, we haven't created I haven't created anything around that yet, but the idea came to me last week. Just after I concluded, just after God Override ended, which was last week Sunday, was the last day for God Override. Um, yeah, leave the old you behind. God Override can actually help you not to try to force it, but to return you to the person who never had the old self. To return you to the person who is just simply crowned and knows nothing else. Right? The price right now is 111, which is $111. So that is such a good deal for 4 days of transformation, right? So if you feel it's for you, if you feel this course can benefit you, can help you in any way, shape, or form, I encourage you to invest in yourself and to join me in God Override. It's not going to be live. I have many things I want to add in the course, many overriding food habits, overriding what else I don't want to I don't want to add food habits, um overeating, things like that. I wanted to add those sections to God Override. Let me know if you would love to have those added as a bonus in God Override. I'm not going to change the price. I can just record those or maybe create a live session maybe here on YouTube. I don't know. We can see what we want to do. But I know I want to add more things in God Override. Let me know if you're down for it. Comment down below #down so I know you are ready for this. And comment down below if you watch this episode. Just go on my channel and watch the episode from yesterday. That way you can begin to you know, you can begin to understand the next thing that's coming into this space and figure out if it's for you or not. I will see you tomorrow. I had so much fun being here with you. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, my loves. I'm so proud of myself for being here. And I'm so proud of you for investing in yourself and for being here too. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.